Ooh wee child, let me buckle up because this one is about to hit a little bit too close to home. I'm Lev, and I just want to know, what is colorism? By dictionary definition, and I quote, colorism is prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. Now, what does prejudice mean? And by dictionary definition, prejudice means preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experience. So let me break this one down for the ones in the back. Colorism is when you have a misinformed opinion about someone with a darker skin tone in the same racial group. So if you're light skinned, which falls under the black category, if you're light skinned and you're like, oh, I don't like dark skins because they're all ugly or stupid or something, that can be considered colorism because where did you get that idea from? If you come in contact with one or two brown skins or dark skins, you can't just be like, well, all of them are terrible, all of them are loud and stupid or whatever. Misinformed opinion about them is. That's what colorism. If you're a lighter skinned Hispanic and you see darker skinned Hispanics and you say, oh, I hate them, they're all loud and ghetto and, stuff like that, that's colorism because you guys are part of the same racial group. You're just lighter than them and you have a really negative and really stereotypical image of them. So for a little bit of background, because I'm going to be talking about colorism because that's the title of this video, I'm 5'2" and 3/4, or 5'3", and I'm like brown skin. I'll put up a picture, and I guess I got a little bit darker because while I'm recording this right now, it's like late summer, so I'm a little bit more tan than I was, than I normally am. So, I'm dark skin, brown skin, whatever. I claim both titles, no problem. I love my skin. I've never worn a wig, and I don't really plan to, and I've never got tracks or lace fronts. I'm showing pictures of these things just in case you don't know what they are. It's okay to be misinformed about things. But I've never worn any of those things because my hair is actually very long, like down to my back long. So I don't feel the need to wear these things. Although I do wear weave because if you're not familiar with how African American hair is braided, you braid your hair, and even if it is really long, the way our hair gets braided is typically short. Like I have down the back, my hair is to my back, but the braids I have braids in right now. The braids I have right now, they don't even go past my shoulders. So, when I'm getting my hair braided and say I wanted just two braids to the back, it's the way my African American hair gets braided, that hair probably isn't going to reach below my shoulders. So I get extra weave and hair added. And, speaking of my hair, I have somewhat 4C-ish. I'm not exactly sure. I don't really, keep up with the types. I've never, cared enough to ask. But, if I would look at one of the charts, which I'm sure I'm going to, show, I guess I'm somewhere on the 4C spectrum. Not exactly. I don't know. I'm not a hairdresser. But I would say I'm somewhere in that area. Just so you know, I'm giving you my description and background and stuff so that you guys can kind of get an idea in your head of what I look like. Because I'm going to be talking about my experience with colorism. And, if I was, light skinned, you'd be like, well, how does that work? Because colorism is typically, directed towards darker skinned people. So if you guys don't know what I've looked like and what I've experienced, how I wear my hair, stuff like that, you might be like, well, I can't picture how she would know. Like maybe she's not even, I just wanted to give you a little description so I know these things. I'm not light skinned, so I've experienced colorism, and I just give you a little picture in your head. If you don't care, then okay, just throwing it out there for everybody who wants to know. Colorism might not seem like a big deal. And when it's sized up to things like racism and police brutality, you're like, okay, how does disliking a darker race even matter? Because, with colorism, with racism, you see white people killing black people, other races killing black people, saying they hate them, hate criming them. And, that's bad, obviously. But when you think of colorism, you don't really go on the news and see, oh, light-skinned people are killing brown skins, or light skins are killing dark skins, or hate criming them. Typically, the black community is all regarded as one big family, and that's how it should be. But, when you put colorism next to things like racism and police brutality, it does not seem that big of a deal. But in reality, it's really bad and maybe even worse than racism and police brutality. Now, stick with me. You might not be like, what? That doesn't make sense. But colorism actually, directly ties into police brutality and racism. And I will definitely explain that later. So, just stick with me. Don't click off just yet. So, when I was growing up in school and stuff, I was typically one of the darker kids in the class. Like, I'm not like pitch night black, but, most people in my class were like lighter brown skins. I know that doesn't make sense, but they were like brown skin. But, lighter brown skins. Like, if there was like a spectrum of brown skin, they would be a little bit in the middle and above in terms of my class. But we had a lot of light skinned kids, we had a lot of brown skins, we had a lot of lighter brown skins. And I was towards, if you would line us all up according to our skin tone, it had the lightest kids in the front and the darker kids in the back. I would be somewhere near the back, something like that. So when I was growing up, kids would give me the nickname Monkey. And they would say stuff, because I had really bad acne, they would say how I look like a Nestle Crunch bar. And right now, while I'm thinking about it, it's kind of funny, so you can laugh. But, back then, when I was like, 8, 9, 10 years old, that hurt. And, it would hurt because the black kids was calling me those names. Those kids were my skin tone, if not darker than me, but I was considered ugly and a monkey and a Nestle Crunch bar by these kids whose mothers was the same color as me. Children should not be acting like that, because when black kids are ignorant and hateful, they grow up to be ignorant and hateful adults. And those ignorant and hateful adults grow up to teach ignorant and hateful children. And then the cycle continues and continues and continues. And in the end, we are only hurting ourselves. We can't demand respect from cops or other races. We can't be like, hey, Black Lives Matter, stop killing us, if Black lives don't matter to each other. If we can't treat ourselves fairly, we can't ask for cops or white people to treat us fairly. Like, if we hate each other, how are other people going to love us? Like, I'm going to just reiterate that because it needs to be said. If we hate each other, how are other people going to love us? It's terrible. It's terrible how, the lighter skinned girls are considered prettier or, more intelligent and just stuff like that. And then the black kids, especially girls, especially young girls, we have see, I knew this was going to hit close. But brown skin and dark skinned girls have the reputation of being loud, ghetto, over dramatic. Dark skinned boys have the stereotype of being thieves and rappers, and being a rapper is not a bad thing, but they associate dark skinned rappers with like rappers that do drugs and rap about, adult things, rap about ghetto things. Like, if you're a rapper and you rap about ghetto things, good for you, hooray, hoorah. But, we get the stereotype that we're all like that. Or like, we're more likely to be thieves or rappers and ghetto and loud, and light skins over here got the reputation of being pretty, or light skinned men are known for being over dramatic. Like, I don't know if you know that TikTok challenge. It was a while back, but it would be like dark skins versus light skins, and the dark skins would like act like normal human beings, and the light skins would do everything in slow motion. Like, yeah, that's a pretty bad stereotype, but when you compare it to what the dark skins got going on, it seems pretty harmless. But both of those stereotypes are terrible and bad. And like I said, again and again and again, this will be my main theme, main message throughout this whole podcast. If we hate each other, how are other people going to love us? If we keep comparing each other, if we keep stereotyping each other, if we keep, butting heads against each other, how are we going to expect everybody else to be like, oh my gosh, I love black people, I won't go kill them for doing nothing in the streets? Like, it's not giving what it was supposed to give. If we can't be unified, we can't expect to unify with other races and other groups. It doesn't make sense. We divide ourselves like that when we do brown skin's bad, light skin's good. We are further pushing each other away. But like, if other communities see us being like, ooh, see the light skins, or just anybody seeing anybody in the black community saying, ooh, dark skin bad, that's gonna make the white people, the cops, the Hispanics, the Asians, that's gonna make them think, oh, dark skins are bad. If the other black people are saying dark skins are bad, then dark skins must be bad. And that's just gonna make them to be more victimized by the police. That's why I was saying it was tying in. If we separate ourselves and if we're colorist towards dark skins, then everybody else will look at us and say, oh, if the light skins hate the dark skins, then it must be okay to hate the dark skins. Like, those racist white people that aren't like the racist white people that are like walking the thin line of being racist and being uneducated. Like, they might be racist or they might just be stupid. Those type of white people, if those type of white people see, oh, everybody hates dark skins, well then it's okay for me to hate dark skins too. That's where colorism is. That's why I'm saying it's bad, and maybe just even more bad than racism and police brutality, because we're hurting each other. Because at that point, when you're colorist, you can't even say, oh, stop the police, ACAB, all that stuff. No, because it's us. It's our community. It's everybody around us that are hurting ourselves. I'm trying to think of a good example, but if you don't like a person, say there's somebody in your class and you don't like them, you're like, ooh, I don't like them, I don't want to hang out with them, we got beef. If you're like that, then, and say you're popular and you don't like that one kid in your class, everybody behind you is going to see that you're popular, you're the big thing in class. So all the people are going to get behind you and say, oh, we also don't like that one person. That's the exact same situation with lighter skinned people, dark skins, and other races. If you're the light skinned person, if you're the lighter skinned person, aka the popular kid, and you're saying, oh, we don't like that other kid, aka dark skins or brown skins or whatever, then all the other kids in the class, aka the other races, are gonna get behind the lighter skinned people, the popular people, and be like, oh, it's okay to hate that person in the class because they're doing it. The popular kids are doing it, so that must make it okay for us. That's kind of what's going on with colorism when we divide ourselves too far. The occasional meme here and there, that's not exactly overchanging the social whatever, it's not exactly throwing us into a revolution. But when we constantly compare ourselves and we constantly set up these stereotypes, these very, very negative stereotypes, it's giving everybody else the opportunity to be like, oh, well, they're doing it to each other, so it's okay for us to do it too. And again, main theme, what's the main theme? Say it with me. If we hate each other, how can we expect other people to love us? Let me hear it again. I'll give you some time to say it. Say it. Good. Remember that. Even if you're white, even if you're Hispanic, if you're Asian, Native American, Indian, Caribbean, any race, any social group, any nationality, whatever you are, you fit into some kind of group. Even if you're mixed or half this, half that, you fit somewhere into society. Remember this when you're in your group, when you see someone, anything, someone in your group, think, how can we expect other people to love us if we can't love each other? Doesn't matter what. If you're, say you're in a team, it doesn't even have to be race. If you're on a volleyball team, like I am, if you're in basketball, football, how can you expect the other football team to respect you if you don't respect your own team? It doesn't even have to be about race. It doesn't have to be about sports. It doesn't have to. It just, think of something that applies to you. How can other families respect my family if I can't respect my family? How can you respect your mother? No, how can other people respect your mother if you don't respect her? Just that. It applies to a lot of things. It applies to almost anything. But just any type of group, any type of anything, respect them so that other people can respect you. Okay? I like that. But on a lighter note, if you have anything to say about this topic, if you have anything to say about colorism, your experiences from both sides, if you've been a colorist or you've been a victim to colorism, tweet at me. I go by the name Levsila's Lev. I know, I'm obviously so smart, but Levsila, my channel name at the end, Levsila's I didn't say what was at the end. Levsila's with an S at the end. So my channel name with an S at the end, and then Lev. That, I go by that name on Twitter and Instagram. I don't like to post on Instagram, but I'm on there. I'm on TikTok as well. I don't post on TikTok, but I'm on there. And, we can talk about colorism. We can talk about whatever. If you don't want to share it with the class in the comments, that's cool. That's fine. That's Gucci. But I want to hear a lot of things, because I may have said something I'm wrong. I'm not going to pretend like everything I said was 100% correct. I did my research, I used my brain knowledge, I used my brain juice, but I don't know if you could tell, I'm kind of dumb when it comes to communicating my thoughts. And, there's like 50 minutes of this recording I've already cut out, I already know. So, see, right there. So I know I probably said something wrong that you was like, hey, that doesn't sound right. Tweet at me, YouTube comment at me, just educate me or what I said, and if I did say something wrong, I could clarify you by what I meant instead of what came out, just a nice civil discussion, civil discourse, all that. And if you have an opinion on anything I did before, like cancel culture, that was a video, the podcast I made before this one. I love that one. You should really go check it out if you have any interest in cancel culture, or if you like to hear the sound of my lovely, beautiful voice, or if you have any opinion on anything I did after, which it's not up now, probably. I don't know when you're watching this, but I'm thinking the next podcast video I'm going to make is about the Black community, which heavily ties into this bad boy. So if you see that and it's out, I heavily recommend you comment on there, you talk, because I really want to have a discussion about it. But yeah, if you want to say anything about that video, heavily recommended, and heavily recommend that you watch it. And if it's not out by the time you're viewing this, I don't know, maybe you should subscribe and turn on the notifications so that when that podcast video does come out, somebody will get their early inside scoop. I mean, that's just an opinion. That's just what I'm saying. Nah, you know what I'm saying. I'm done. You can also find all of this stuff in the description, just in case you still didn't catch what I said, because I'm an idiot. All of it is on the description. You can click on the links there. And I probably at some point put the social medias up on the screen. But if I didn't, because I don't feel like editing all the time, they're definitely going to be in the links, in the description, and all that stuff. You know, because it'd be, and all that good stuff. But yeah, you know, I'd really like to hear you guys' opinions on this. Everybody has different sides. There's so many sides to the same stories. There's so many sides to life. And that's just, I just want to hear it all. I just want to, you know, have you ever been someone who was colorist? I'd like to do a video on a colorist and a colorism victim, you know, just to see what's going on here, what was wrong, how has it been fixed, just all that stuff, so that anybody who's watching and experiencing this stuff and is like, dang, I really felt this, they can see these examples, they can hear the podcast, and they can go away with this thinking, I don't have to live my life in fear or, you know, scared. That's what fear means, dummy. But, you know, they don't have to be scared. They don't have to be upset. They don't have to be afraid. And anybody who was being colorist, they can walk away from this video and be like, wow, I'm everything and more that she described. I need to fix myself. It helps everybody. And I would just like to, you know, just bring the world together, one podcast video at a time. Anyways, subscribe, like, and, you know, all the cool, fun YouTube stuff. And, you know, look at the art. By the time I'm recording this, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't even drawn it. I don't even know what I'm going to draw. But I'm sure it came out really, really, really nice because, you know, your girl's an artist or whatever. Just kidding. That's a joke. But, you know, look at the art, look at the description, look at the links, have fun, drink some water, don't be colorist, and be nice. Bye-bye.